That's what he looks like there. Now, the TAJAR can camouflage himself and hide among the thick trees where you cannot see the TAJAR. He's very unique in hiding among the thick trees and bushes. And he can be right close by and you cannot see the TAJAR because he's hid among those tall trees, knowing that he's not to come out when campers are here at camp. But now, the person that can look at the TAJAR is the range ranger. The range ranger is a friend of the TAJAR. And he can come out and watches the TAJAR like he watches over the fires that we build. He watches over the animals. And surely, the range ranger takes care of the TAJAR. One special thing I haven't told you. If you ever see a TAJAR once, you'll simply forget what it looks like. If you see it twice, you forget what it looks like. Now, the third time you see a TAJAR, the more you try to remember what you forgot to forget, the more your brain is used up. And you have nothing left. So you become, I don't want to say it, you know what it is when you use your brain. But the TAJAR, you don't want to see the TAJAR too many times, or it would be all over. So the range ranger is the only one that is immune to that TAJAR's vision. By seeing the TAJAR, it doesn't hurt the range ranger. And you know what the range ranger did? He built a little ladder-like thing so the TAJAR can come out of his hiding place. When the campers and counselors and whoever's around camp has gone home or away, the TAJAR can come out up and down that ladder and out his hiding place and dance in the moonlight all over the camp. TAJARs love to dance in the moonlight. They call it death-defying life leap, as he leaps from one tree to the next. The TAJAR loves that. Somersaults from tree to tree, daredevil leap. Oh, he's frolics in the moonlight. That is so fun for the TAJAR, so much fun. Now here's the TAJAR out frolicking in the moonlight, dancing from one tree to the next, having a great time frolicking in the moonlight. Can you see, man? Dancing, his tail is up in the air. Dancing in the moonlight from tree to tree. Just having a good time. And the range ranger heard all the commotion over here at camp. Kids howling and screaming, beating on the counselor's door. What is going on over here? The range ranger said, call the TAJAR out. Call that TAJAR out just like you would be called out by your mom. TAJAR? Yes, sir. Says, you know better than dance when the campers are still here. I'm going to give you another chance not to do that. Go back into the woods and don't let it happen again. And the TAJAR, yes sir, went back in the woods, not supposing to come out again while campers are here. And a few days later, he was out doing the same thing, dancing and frolicking in the moonlight. And the range ranger caught him a second time. And when he drove over here, he was fit to be tied. Called the TAJAR out for the second time. TAJAR? Yes, sir. He said, this is the second time. Don't let it happen again. And guess what? He did it again. The third time. And when you play a ball game, 3 strikes, you what? Out. The range ranger came over here. He said, TAJAR, he said, if you 3 strikes now, he said, if it happens one more time, that will be it for you. Punishment will be coming. And the TAJAR went back into the woods as if he wasn't going to do it again. But the frolicking in the moonlight kept going on. The TAJAR would sneak out and look at it, jumping from tree to tree, even though the range ranger had asked him not to come out and jump from tree branch to tree branch. He's out doing it again past the third time. Now I told you how many strikes was it? 3 and you're out. And that's what happened with the TAJAR. The range ranger called the TAJAR out of the trees. He said, TAJAR, you come out of those tall, tall trees and come down here to me. Immediately. Come down where I am. He says, you done Messed up, Tajer. You've been out too many times, frolicking in the moonlight. He made the Tajer sit right in front of him and hold out his front paw. And he bent him back just like this. And began to sew tucks in the Tajer's front legs, making his front legs shorter than the back legs. He said, this will keep you from jumping from tree to tree if I make your front legs shorter. You can't jump from one branch to the next. Look at him with that long needle and thread, just like a doctor putting stitches in. But he didn't hurt the Tajer too much because the Tajer's kind of a magical animal. And it didn't bother him too much, but the tucks really worried the Tajer because it kept him from jumping from tree to tree like he liked to dance. He could dance jumping from tree to tree. And despite the tucks in the Tajer's front legs, look at those tucks in his front legs. Despite those tucks, the Tajer still tried to jump from tree to tree, even having tucks in his front legs. And he kept falling down, twirling to the hard ground. He tried with the tucks, tried to dance on his back feet and hurt his knees, tried to dance on his front feet, and his legs got so tired he couldn't do that. But the tucks made it impossible for him to dance. And the Tajer, with the help of the other animals, got to go to his hiding place. Up in a tree, look, the other animals had to help the Tajer into his hiding place. And once the Tajer got into his hiding place, he sat there and couldn't get down because his legs were too short. And he was up there crying away, like a little bitty child, snippering and crying and wiping tears. Didn't want the range ranger to see him crying. But oh boy, was he boo-hooing. And wiping those tears away. And the range ranger said, Tajer, he said, there are other ways you can have fun. Don't be so simple just to have one way to amuse yourself. Have other things you can do. And Tajer said, in a very soft voice, yes, sir. And when the range ranger left, he said, I'll show that old man I can have fun. And here's the Tajer coming out of his hiding place, even with the tucks. And the range ranger had told him there are other things to do to have fun, and guess what he thought of? He said, I can have fun if I use my long, hairy tail to catch hold of the tree branch. And he says he couldn't use his front legs, he was using his tail to wrap around the tree branch. And the Tajer would go from one tree to the next tree to the next tree using his long tail. And was he having fun? In the moonlight, he would go from tree to tree to tree. And it was so much fun using his tail. No hands, Mom. My tail I can use to go from tree to tree. And the range ranger came to warn the Tajer about using his long, hairy tail to jump from tree to tree. Here he told the Tajer, he says, Tajer, you better be careful using your tail, because one of the tall campers by the name of Kenneth put some nails in the tree branch, and you might snag your tail in one of those nails. Be careful, Tajer. And the Tajer said, okay, I'll watch out for those nails. And sure enough, when the Tajer jumped from tree to tree, he was looking. Look how big those eyes are. Big and soft, looking for the nails in the tree. He watched every tree branch, looking. If there were no nails in it, he'd wrap that big tail around it, and floop, he goes to the next tree branch. Floop, right to the next one. Oh, he was gone, just a swinging. Wouldn't even touch the ground. He'd go here all the way down to the lake without touching the ground. I mean, he was good, watching for nails. But the Tajer didn't see many nails, and he got very careless. And without seeing the nails, the Tajer snagged his tail in a nail. And that nail almost tore his tail in half. And the Tajer looked back and said, oh my goodness, look at my tail. It's dangling from a little thread of skin. And what the Tajer did, he got himself a safety pin and a string and some tape and tried to mend his tail with a pin, string, and tape. And none of those worked for the Tajer. And the Tajer needed some magic to fix his tail. And the magic was he went across the road there to Mrs. Cuella's house. And he knocks on Miss Cuella's door to get some magic. You all know what magic is, don't you?
Yeah.
Somebody that can do magic? Well, he knocks on her door. And Miss Cuella didn't open her door. She must have been out. She was out gathering berries. This Miss Cuella, look at her. She's not such a beautiful lady, is she? But she's out gathering fruit and stuff, trying to make a go, trying to make things for her home. And the TAJAR went in her house while she was gone. And look what he did to her cups and spoons. He took them and made a big stack of them and took them out into the front yard. The TAJAR said, if I can't dance, I'm going to make this lady's cup jump from tree to tree. And he took all her things out, and he has them, juggling them all around, way up in the tree. Look how he's throwing those things around. Her precious cup. How would like somebody get your breakfast cup or your breakfast sauce and throw it up in the tree? Well, that's what the TAJAR's doing. Here he is throwing her cups, saucers, and spoons all around, all up in the tree. And he's sitting there with his tail all tied and taped, wanting Miss Cuella to help him make his tail well again. And yet he's playing around with her saucers and spoons. Well, when she came home, this lady didn't like what she could see. Seeing an animal up in a tree with your cup, your favorite cup, flying around. She threw up her hands, dropped her cane, and screamed out a scream that would pierce your ear. She screamed so loud, dropped her cane, big goobers of sweat came off of her. She was so angry at the TAJAR. She didn't know what to do with it. Catch you doing wrong. You know how sometimes moms get a little upset and they scream a little bit? Well, she did more than scream. She dropped her cane and started sweating. But Miss Cuella, that old lady, began to think of what she could do to punish the TAJAR. Look at all those question marks. She wants to know, what can I do to punish the TAJAR? She said, maybe, look at this question mark. Make him take a break. Take a time out. Not have some dessert. Look at this big one. She's all serious about an old-fashioned spanking. May help him. Then she thought about, I don't know, maybe losing some dessert or something. And she said, I'll make him take a walk with me. Mr. TAJAR? Yes, sir? Yes, ma'am. That's just what she told him. Yes, sir. He said, yes, ma'am. He said, you and I need to take a walk. And the TAJAR and Miss Cuella took a walk in the woods. And Miss Cuella was walking in the woods with the TAJAR. You know what it means when Mom said, I think you better slow down. You and I need to take a little walk. But when she got that TAJAR into the woods, Miss Cuella put a magical spell on the TAJAR. And got him and did her hand some kind of funny way over the TAJAR's head and made that TAJAR cat invisible. Well, you couldn't see the TAJAR. The TAJAR was invisible. And the TAJAR looked and said, oh boy, this is great. If I'm invisible, nobody can see me. He said, I'm going to come to that Camp KYSOC and I'm going to take over the camp. And he did sassy walked up that pool area by the pool, just switching and wagging that big tail. Nobody could see him. Came up here, jumped in the hay wagon, scratched out, threw out all of the hay. That's why we quit using hay. We just put some in that day for the first time. Quit using hay, threw all the hay out. When little girl was having a birthday party, he went over to her cabin, ate hay for the cake. Crumbs all over his mouth. The counselors blaming the campers blaming the council. Who ate the cake up? You know, but I didn't do it. Please, counsel, I didn't do it. TAJAR ate the cake. Crumbs you couldn't see all around his mouth. He's invisible. He thought that was so funny. A lot of little things he would do would be funny. But when he got ready to jump from tree to tree, the joke was on him. He couldn't see where his front legs were. He couldn't see where his long tail was. And it caused the TAJAR to go whoop to the hard ground. Made him dizzy. The frolic went all to his head. He was so upset that he couldn't do his frolic while he was invisible. So the range ranger, who hadn't seen the TAJAR for such a long time, went over to see Miss Cuella to inquire about the TAJAR. And when the range ranger got over, he asked Miss Cuella very nicely, where is the TAJAR? She didn't answer him. And he asked her again. Maybe the old lady can't hear too well. Where is the toad? She still didn't answer. And the range ranger with his big, bulky self was right in her face, threatening her, right in her space. Where is the TAJAR? And she answered back very sarcastic, like, well, if you want to know, he's right there beside you. He said, well, make him visible. And Miss Cruella took her old wrinkled, crooked fingers with those clawy nails and hair on the back of her hand and rubbed it down the TAJAR's back. And ploop, the TAJAR was back visible again. And look at him looking around. He says, oh my goodness, I can see my whiskers, you can see my tail, my front leg, but it all needs to be healed again. And he said, please, Miss Cruella, he said, I'll be good. Put some magic on my tail, make it well. I promise. I won't come out again while campers are here. She said, you really promise? Yes. She put the magic on his tail and made it well. He went to the range ranger and said, Range Ranger, please take the tucks out of my front legs. I promise you I won't come out again while campers or anybody that came. He said, you promised, TAJAR? I promise. He took the tucks out of his front legs. And the TAJAR looked around. He said, I'm better than you. He said, I'm going to go back into the woods, and I promise you both, I'll never come out again while campers are here at camp. And the TAJAR was way back in the dark part of the woods with the promise he wouldn't come out again. But guess what? One beautiful moonlit night, the moon was out so big and bright, and the tree branches were just swaying in that beautiful wind. And the TAJAR looked around and he said, those branches are beckoning for me to come out and dance. Now I know the campers are still here, but why do the branches do this for me to come out and dance? He said, if I break my promise a little bit, it won't hurt, will it? Does it hurt to break a promise a little bit? You're not supposed to break a promise, do you? No. He said, I'll break it just a little bit. Now, just take your mind, just a little bit. Came out and danced for a little while. Well, it felt so good, he danced for a little while longer. And longer led to longer. And finally, the range ranger had to come over and catch the TAJAR out dancing in the moonlight. TAJAR? Yes, sir. Scared him so bad. He says, you promised this would not happen. Now you're dancing in the moonlight, and you promised this would not happen again. He said, the TAJAR, he said, discipline must be maintained. He said, I must discipline you again. And the TAJAR dropped his head so far and low. He said, look, he said, this time you can come out while campers are here. The TAJAR's ears perked up. While the campers are here? Yes. You can come out and dance, but this is what it's the thing. You got to do something special for the campers if you come out while they're here. And the TAJAR said, what is it now? He said, when you come out and dance, and the campers are here, you have to leave them something nice hanging from the branches of the trees, or where they can get it. So whenever the TAJAR comes out at night and dances in the moonlight when campers are here, when they wake up the next morning, there will be hanging from the tree branches different kinds of goodies for the camp. It could be a fruit like bananas, oranges, apples hung from the tree, little boxes of cereal with juice or milk. And you can have a TAJAR breakfast without coming up here to the dining lot. The TAJAR can do that for you. So the TAJAR is something good for the camp. Sometimes if it's not breakfast, you could be out on the hayride or doing something, go back to your village. He had little kites on in one cabin for the boys to have some fun with them. Sometimes if you're real good, you wake up the next morning, there'll be a little candy treat up under your pillow where the TAJAR's been down. So the TAJAR right now, if he comes out, he does good things for the boys and girls. So that's the story about the TAJAR, what he does for them. So hopefully, if you spend a night here sometime and been on your P's and Q's, and be real good, you may have experience with TAJAR.
Yeah!
I see something happened to his front leg. He jumped too much. This is a little rendition of what happens, what the TAJAR looks like. See his tail? See the front legs? He got one little boy had an accident with his other front leg. But there it is. He can grab hold. See the tucks in his leg? That's what a TAJAR looks like. Did you forget what he looks like? See what? Whoa. Whoa. Don't want to see him too many times. What happens if you see him twice?
Are you forgetting forget?
Forget for the gad. There he is. Everybody see? Look at that tail. How many times? Woo! Well, you're welcome to do more songs or just sit around and socialize and make you some more.
Jim,
Uh-huh.
Jim, can I do the linger song?
Yeah, linger.
Yeah, we're going to do the linger song.